Remember Adam said that we need a jingle. Howdy everybody, and welcome to the Praise the Pickle podcast.
Woo!
Welcome.
What was that?
What was that?
There's a third voice.
Psst.
Hey.
I'm back.
He's back. That's right, everyone. Danny Boy is back. How was ice fishing in Switzerland?
Cold.
Cold.
But thankfully we had some burning buildings to throw cats over to keep me warm.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
bit of archery in there. It was good. It was an intense, action-packed holiday, and I learned a lot. And now I have my official maid qualification.
I
So
was going to say, yeah, you're a fully qualified French maid now, are you?
yeah,
Fully qualified.
fully qualified.
Not half.
Uniform and all.
Oh, no.
Oh
Please no.
man. It's getting
I'm wearing it
It's
right
getting
now.
hot in here, man. Welcome to the Praise the Pickle podcast, where we talk about video games and everything that we love about said video games, everything that we hate about said video games, and everything that we find mediocre about said video games. I'm your host, Benjamin Watts. To my right, we got Kevin Hart.
Yay, it's me.
How are you, Kev?
I'm alright. I just come back from seeing the new Star Wars.
Yeah, this is a video game podcast, so keep it to yourself, yeah?
Isn't Star
Keep
Wars
it
a
to
very,
yourself,
very,
yeah?
recent game that's come out?
Yeah, but it's
Should I just spoil it for everyone right now?
if you spoil Star Wars, Kevin, I will hunt you down and murder you.
Kylo Ren's in it.
Right, where's my car keys? And to my left, we have Mr. Daniel Watts.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I am pretty good.
Yeah.
How are you, Ben?
Thank you for asking, Daniel. Unlike some people, I'm good. I'm still in a stressful Christmas present buying phase, which is a bit stressful.
God, no.
It's all a bit tedious, but you know we'll get there. I've been shopping like 3 days this week out of 5, so it's it's fun. I love Christmas shopping. It's great, especially
That's
when
why
you
you
don't
hit
get
up your
anything out of
Amazon.
it yourself. Yeah, but it's so hard to shop on Amazon for like the little things, like all the little
Extras.
token gifts and like a little,
Yeah,
a little
I get what
mini
you mean.
board game or a little book or whatever. You can't. Amazon is just not good for that shit, you know. It's just Anyway, this is the Praise Pickle podcast gaming thing. Yeah, cool, great. Welcome, and let's move straight into the feedback section with Mr. Kevin Hart.
Swag one.
Swagwan.
Wagwan.
So, email came in. The pickle of the happiness. The happy
Oh.
pickler. She's back.
Here she is.
She's back with another freaky question.
Oh.
It's not actually that freaky. It's actually quite a nice gaming grade one.
Whoa.
Maybe Ben's hints last week
Oh, did I?
got the better of her.
Thank you.
I said, hello Pickles.
Hello.
Really enjoyed the podcast, the last podcast. Ben and Kev held the fort admirably, but I did miss Dan. Aw.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Hope he is back this week.
He is. He's right
Yeah.
here. Look.
Hello.
The news just wasn't the same.
No. Well, we didn't really have any news, so.
Of all the weeks for me to abandon you guys as well, there was
I
so much that
know.
happened.
It was rough, man.
It's alright, man. At least you caught a lot of fish.
Yes.
Whilst I know you trust implicitly the feedback Ben gave about that game, Control was it?
Yeah.
I would be fascinated to know what either Dan or Kev thinks of it. It is perplexing how it's nominated for so many awards and had such great reviews, but Ben had such damning things to say about it.
Yeah, it is perplexing, but it is the truth, and I plead the fifth. It's a terrible game, and I will never understand why it's been nominated for so many awards. And I'm very much looking forward to it eventually coming to Game Pass or getting really cheap, so that Kevin or Dan can play it and understand why it's so garbage, and people can stop accusing me of like just lying. All right, when that day comes, Happy Pickle, you'll understand. Okay, you'll see that my opinion is not the only one of this context.
But it is the only one that matters.
That's true. Yeah. It's like Video Game Donkey. It's the only one that matters.
I would love to vote for your next game of the month, but I have no idea about any of them. So I think you should pick the one you would all enjoy playing.
I think it's gone the opposite way to that so far.
Alright, no, you got to vote, Happy Piccolo. Right? It's just not as simple as that. You have to vote. I don't care whether you know what they are. I'll tell you what they are. Dark Souls 3 is a really, really, really hard, punishing game where you kill massive like demons and trolls and stuff with swords and spells and whatnot. It's really good, but it's similar to that game that Kevin's playing, the Sekiro one that he's spoken about every week for about 4 years. We got After Party, which is
take me to play the game.
After Party, which is like an adventure game where you go into hell and play like drinking games with all of the devil's minions. It's supposed to be like quite a light-hearted sort of not party game, like adventure-esque game with little puzzles and stuff in it. Indivisible is a role-playing tactical game, so like it's turn-based, so like you have your characters and then you get into a battle and you can choose what your characters do, like different types of attacks and stuff, and then it's got a story and whatnot, and it's supposed to be very good. And Devil May Cry 5 is similar to Dark Souls, but a bit more combat focused. So like, still killing big demons and stuff, but with like really cool music and like crazy combat, flying all over the place and whatnot. And vote for one.
You feel like a badass in that game, whereas in Dark Souls you feel
like
puny
a
and
shrimp.
Weak.
So no excuses next week. Thank you very much.
Alright, there you go. Go vote. I don't know whereabouts we are. It seems as though you all sometimes rush through a game in order to complete it and do not experience everything the game has to offer. It's as though if there is nothing to be gained by completing a quest, you don't bother doing it. I wonder if the full experience of the game is missing by having this approach. ? Do we think that?
Yeah. But at the same time, I think it gives us the motive and the drive to play more than we normally would, which is, I think, a good trade-off.
Yeah, I agree.
If we weren't playing games for the podcast,
I think there's positives and negatives about this approach. I think, I mean, one, you do get to play games you've never played, you wouldn't even think about playing, which is good, and it does encourage you to play more games, but my personal experience, it would just mean I have to sack off every other game to get this game finished.
Yeah.
Which would be the case, but, if that's the case to get it completed, then, that's all.
Yeah, I also feel like side quest stuff is never normally that detrimental to the enjoyment of a game. It's like extra content, but it's not like... It depends what you're playing. So, for example, there's a game called The Witcher 3, which is like a massive RPG epic, but the side quests are so good in that if anyone said to me that they were skipping the side quest and just doing the main quest, I'd say you're an idiot, because the side quests are where some of the most enjoyable moments comes from. But
that's a problem with a lot of games, though, is that you don't ever know whether or not a side quest is going to be really good or not.
Yeah, but there's normally a general...
Worlds.
No, that you could kind of tell it was the same sort of thing. I don't feel like you missed much. This whole game was very similar. Like, there's nothing that they're going to add to it. Whereas in games like Dark Souls or The Witcher and things like that, there's the side quests or the side bosses and stuff are not fun. You don't have to kill them, but the amount of enjoyment you get out of doing them, you'll be missing a big portion of the game. Whereas in games like Outer Worlds, it's kind of like, It's just more of the same thing. If that makes sense. So I don't feel like I'm missing much of the game. I'm still getting the vibe of the game from playing just the main story. I don't feel like you need to. It's like you're a big Breaking Bad fan. Okay? Kevin, have you seen Breaking Bad?
I have.
Yeah. So would you feel like you're missing out by not watching Better Call Saul?
No.
No, because it's an extra thing. It's like it's a side thing where if you really, really want to, you can, but you're not missing anything from Breaking Bad by not watching Better Call Saul. It's like that's the core thing. It's just more of the same, but from a different point of view, sort of thing. It's that sort of analogy, I guess, but for TV instead of games. But
yeah, that's a really good analogy actually. I quite like that.
Thank you.
I shall carry on.
Yes.
If I had an elephant, I would insist it earned its keep by performing odd jobs for people, such as car washing and patio cleaning. Then once it earned enough, I would send it on a lovely long vacation.
I mean, the logistics of sending an elephant on vacation is a whole different matter, but it's the thought that counts, I suppose.
I think elephants can swim.
Maybe, but how
Can't
does
they
that
just
help
walk on
them
the
go on
bottom of the
vacation?
sea and use their trunk to breathe?
Like one of those submarine periscope things.
What is it? It's an elephant.
I love that question, by the way. That cracked me up.
Yeah, it was good.
My question this week is, what is the best food to pick whilst playing? If indeed you do, consider the following. Oh my god, not again. Speed of preparation, ease of picking with one hand, ease of picking without having to take your eyes off the game, doesn't make your fingers mucky. Looking forward to Monday, your happy pickler. Oh god.
It's an easy
what
answer.
do I usually eat?
Right, I've got a good one for this.
Go on,
Go
Dan.
for it.
You guys are going to think I'm crazy, but you get these like massive bags of Americans would call them Cheetos, but we have like Whatsits.
Oh no!
What?
Right there, yeah. You open a fat bag of those and you eat them with a fork, and you can stab them blindly into the bag. Stab a fork into the bag, and you will always get one on the end of the fork, and it's completely mess free, and they cling to it perfectly. They don't fall apart, and you can just munch away.
Well, I'm gonna have to try that at some point, man. Jesus.
Seriously, that's the way.
Where do you keep the Cheetos then?
In a bag, in a bowl, doesn't matter.
Yeah, but like on your desk, next to your desk.
Yeah, no, like
Yeah,
just like
on
under
your
your
lap.
under your screen sort of thing.
Yeah, and you just stab at it with a fork. You don't even have to look at what you're doing. You just stab into the bowl and you get one.
Oh, that's glorious! I'm gonna have to try that. I haven't had like Whatsits in ages. Oh, I love Whatsits so much. That's good. My one is simple but effective. Fruit.
Oh, mine was grapes.
Grapes, yeah, grapes.
Grapes
Grapes
are
is
good.
perfect, yeah, because it's like
Mm.
you get all the goodness on the inside, but like because it's waxy on the outside, you don't get any shit on your fingers. You know, it's just
And
like
you technically pick them.
yeah,
But it's
yeah.
healthy.
Yeah,
It's
no, but
healthy.
you get energy from grapes. Grapes aren't even that healthy, man. When people say like, "Oh, you're supposed to eat more fruit," there's always like a little disclaimer at the bottom that's like, "Except for grapes, because they're really not that good for you." So,
Well, I had bananas at that one, I don't know. I thought bananas was a bad one.
no, bananas are good for you, very good for you. Why? Who told you that?
I thought because they're quite high in sugar.
No, all fruit's high in sugar, really. But
Yeah.
it's anyway,
Banana.
grapes.
Popcorn's a good one too, actually.
No, that's terrible.
Popcorn's
You
great
got
because
sticky
it's like
fingers.
Yeah.
you don't. What popcorn are you eating?
Toffee.
No wonder you're getting sticky fingers.
I think that might be the toffee coating's fault and not the actual popcorn.
Popcorn's great. It's low calorie and it's munchable. It's good.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's like eating crisps, isn't it? When you get all the slimy shit all over your hand, you don't want that. Don't want that. Don't want none of that crap on my keyboard. Anyway, that's it. Grapes, and what's it?
Can we have a break? I'm
frogs.
hungry.
No.
Go
Okay.
get your
Could have
fork
had
and
some
what's it.
food while I was going for a poo poo.
Nice.
I don't know if we have any more.
Feedback? No more feedback. It's busy Christmas
No.
period, isn't it? Except for we've got. I mean, we can go through the votes so far if you want. For
let's do it.
Okay, let me go get it up.
I've got it up now for me to do it.
Go for it, mate.
No, I don't want to take a section. You do it. Come on.
No, go for it. If you have it up, I have to go find it and everything.
Oh, okay. So we got 4. For people that didn't listen to last week, we do a monthly podcast special called a Moonlight That Game, or a super duper deep dive special, Moonlight special super extravaganza. And basically we do like a big review, deep dive into a game, and we throw out 4 options between me, Dan, Kevin and Adam, who is our boy for these specials. And you guys vote on what game you think that we should review. So our games this month, like I went through in the feedback, was Dark Souls 3, Indivisible, After Party and Devil May Cry 5. This is for January. We so far on the social medias we have one vote for Indivisible. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 votes for Dark Souls 3. 1, 2 votes for After Party, and 1, 2, 3 votes for Devil May Cry 5, and we have 1 vote for FIFA. Someone I work with, Emily.
What a lad.
No, she's a numbnut. So Dark Souls 3 is in the lead, which means we have to we have to complete and do a review of Dark Souls 3 in 1 month. So the poll will be open for another week or so. Keep
get
reviewing,
voting
please. Yeah, vote for anything other than Dark Souls 3, please. Please, because that is going to be a mission and a half. Dark Souls 3 in 1 month, man. Oh, it's going to be brutal. And Kevin has already said he's going to commit suicide if that wins. So,
ooh.
So Kevin's life is in your hands. So vote for if you want Kevin to die, or if you don't want him to die. One or the other.
Imagine there's people out there that actually hate me on this podcast.
It's all those people from North Carolina that are like, oh man, this bloody
away.
Oh, all right, there you go.
All right.
Thank you for voting, everyone, so far. By the way.
Is it my time?
I think it's your time.
It's my time. I shall start by saying welcome back, Daniel.
Thank you
We
very
missed
much.
you. I felt
too.
very unstable.
You are.
Let's get down to business. You're not going to want to miss this. Now my rap game has been taken up a notch. Take yourself a seat, ready with that scotch.
Ooh.
Praise the Pickle is our handle on most social media. Facebook, Twitter, but not Insta. Gram, it's Praise the Pickle podcast.
Gram?
You get it? Insta. Gram, it's Praise the Pickle podcast. Our email is rather long, so I'll leave that till last. Like, comment, follow, and subscribe to us. Ew, I still haven't gotten rid of all that pus. Everyone pick up your drinks. We are the bomb. Praise the Pickle podcast at gmail.com.
That last line was fire, man.
Yeah, you finished that with a bang.
Man, beautiful.
Yeah,
I'm impressed.
Round of applause.
Apart from the second use of the word pus.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to think of another one.
Unnecessary.
Just one more word for us, Kev. Just anything other than pus, please.
I mean, I did have something else in there, but then I thought to myself, hey, I still haven't got rid of all that pus, so.
God. Beautiful. Sorry, I'm yawning. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, for those that aren't in the rap game and just can't follow the hip hop scene, what is it, Kev?
Ting.
Sorry, it's infectious.
My turn.
On Facebook and Twitter, you just have to do a little cheeky search of Praise the Pickle. On Instagram, Praise the Pickle podcast. Don't go do Praise the Pickle, because that's a random person.
Yeah, we don't want that.
And if you want to email us, like our Happy Pickler likes doing, it's praisethepicklepodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to do any other votes, go to Facebook or Instagram. I think that's where both of them are, isn't it?
Yeah.
And go on our pages. You should see it all there to vote. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow us, comment, all those good things. Rate us 5 stars.
Yeah, that's the big one. 5 stars on iTunes, please, for the love of the Lord. Right, if we don't make the best of 2019 listens next year, I'm done. I'm done. That's 2020
Actually,
listens next year.
I
you seen?
think we do have.
We got
some
2 more.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we got 2 more reviews, guys. I just checked.
Nice.
So
Okay,
thank you so much,
I'm gonna
whoever
do
just
that.
reviewed. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, no, we got one more review.
Oh, what does it say?
It's from the Happy Pickler. Because why is it taking all this? No, it's from Steve from the Chippy. No, it's not. Just put Steve from the Chippy, but it says Happy Pickler here. The most enjoyable podcast I've listened to. I've never laughed so much. Thank you very much, Happy Pickler. Really, really appreciate that.
Yeah, it means a lot.
Yeah. And we've got another 5-star rating from someone random. I don't know who. So thank you very much.
Love
whoever
you.
That was. Love you all, and keep up the reviews and stuff. Honestly, it genuinely makes our day when we get these reviews and feedback and stuff. Like, it's just it's so rewarding knowing that people are actually listening. It sounds so silly, but it's like, yeah, it's because it can gets demoralizing at times and whatnot when you feel like you're talking to a brick wall.
It's never demoralising. Even if we have one listener, that's enough.
But
okay.
These little moments, honestly, make my week, make my month, make my year. So keep them up. Thank you. Shall we crack on with the news then?
News time.
Oh, here he is. He's back, boys. Woo!
I've missed this.
Can we do a jingle for him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's do a jingle. All right.
Sure. I'm sure you've had 2 weeks to rehearse, so it better be good.
Yeah. No, we have been every day. All right.
Love it. Nice.
This is
Can't
the
wait
news.
Can't wait to edit that down. A lot.
Just cut Kevin's voice. That's edited. Done.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. I've missed this. I got a few bits for you this week. So obviously you guys last week. My bit of feedback, by the way, was.
Oh
well
yeah,
done,
sorry, Dan. Yeah,
you guys absolutely nailed it. You did really well.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it was nice to hear you talk about all of the various gaming events and announcements that were going on.
Yeah,
and there was a hell of a
many.
lot of it.
Way
I'm
too many.
surprised. I'm surprised you didn't talk more about the Xbox release or the announcement.
There wasn't really much to talk about. I mean, we mentioned that it was a bit of a spandangled shape, but there wasn't. We mentioned the obvious that it's not going to fit in media units. Like that's it.
Yeah,
but,
that is true.
A fridge.
But
I guess I would have speculated a bit more about it, maybe what it means and what happens.
Well,
but
don't guess, Dan. Speculate now. Go for it. Xbox, go. Speculate. Go.
I just think it's a really exciting time. Like, I think it's so exciting that finally we're getting games developed for a new generation of hardware, and that's going to completely change what the benchmark is for AAA games and for high-level products. So, yeah, I just think it's super exciting. I have no idea what PlayStation are going to do in response. I am very surprised that Xbox came first. I thought PlayStation would be out there.
Well,
more
PlayStation went first last time, didn't they? And the Xbox One release was a complete shambles. So Xbox are all over it this year. Whereas, it's to be honest, I think it's going to be a lot closer this generation.
Me too.
Because last generation, Xbox screwed up so freaking hard. Remember when the Xbox One was first announced? They said you can't resell games, was one of their first announcements, and it was like,
they really thought that through well. Didn't they?
It's just that went good
down
sales
like a ton
pitch,
of bricks.
guys. You know, things like that. It looked hideous. There was so many issues. I can't think of them off the top of my head now, but so many issues, and it really, really harmed them for a long time. They're only sort of catching up now, and it's not even catching up. It's still like half the units of PlayStation or something. But They have clearly learnt from their mistakes, and they're well on it, man. Like this Game Pass thing, they've thought about this. They know that this is how they're going to get people on board, and it is. Even I'm thinking, I've been a PlayStation fanboy since PS1, and even I'm thinking I might get an Xbox next generation because I'm like,
me too,
I just get all these games like that. Obviously, it'll end up being more expensive, fine, but even the amount of games I play on Game Pass, I would happily pay £15 a month for it. Like. It's mad. So they're actually thinking about this, whereas PlayStation are just completely in the dark. So they're going to have to come out with something pretty special to catch up at this point, I think.
Well, I think it's going to be a slightly different audience this time. So the thing that PlayStation have at the moment that Xbox don't is the VR side of things. And I think next generation we're going to see that start to move in a more positive direction. So that's where they're going to specialise. You're going to have a more VR-focused bit of kit.
Potentially, but yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one because the issue is that even they've done VR and it's sold pretty well, all things considered.
Sold very well, far better than anybody in the industry expected.
Yes, but the issue is that big game makers still aren't fully on board with it, and no one is taking that leap except for Valve at this current. But that could be a good one though. Could you imagine if they said, "Oh, PlayStation coming out, you can buy it with I don't know, £300 headset or something, £400 headset, you know, some sort of pretty decent priced headset in comparison to like PC ones, and then they go and Half-Life is coming to it. That would be mad. That's
not gonna happen.
No, it could. Of course, why wouldn't that happen?
Oh, you mean Half-Life Alyx? Sorry, I thought you meant Half-Life 3 for some reason.
No, Half-Life Alyx. Yeah.
Yeah,
obviously, because that's like 8 months after release or something as well. So it could. They're definitely feasible, obviously, if they actually announce a VR headset. But I don't know if they will announce a VR headset on launch.
Maybe not on launch, but that's a new generation VR headset could be the thing that pulls me towards Sony.
100%. Yeah, because I'm never going to get a VR headset for my PC. I just can't keep up with the specs and stuff. You know, it's just not. Yeah, not for me. But if they announce, if some big companies start taking that plunge, and they sell really well, then I'll be on it, because that's what needs to happen. If a big company goes, right, we're making Call of Duty VR or something, and it's like a proper game, and it's really freaking good, and then it sells really well, and then other companies be like, well, I want to do that because it sold really well, and then I'm on it. I'm 100% on board. But that's the thing that's put me off VR.
About this generation.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be the thing
healthy
that
competition
pushes everything forwards again, and we've been waiting for quite a long time now. I'm buzzing.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I can't wait. I've been well excited to buy a console for ages. I didn't buy a PS4 on launch. I bought yours off you, didn't I, Dan? I think I did.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think that was you did, didn't you?
I bought it at uni, didn't I? Yeah. So I haven't had a PS4 since launch. I bought an Xbox 360 quite a long time after launch. I haven't bought a console on launch for ages, so I better get saving.
I bought Xbox One on launch.
Yeah, all your boys did, didn't they? So. All your FIFA boys. Sweet, cool. Let's jump into the news anyway. Go on.
Let's jump right into it. So the first one, which is definitely something that might get you a bit excited, Ben, is that Capcom are asking members of their Resident Evil Ambassador program, which is basically a series of very trusted playtesters, to come and try out a new unreleased or unannounced product that they're developing at the moment.
Ooh, Resident Evil 8. Hello.
Could be Resident Evil 8.
Yeah.
People are also speculating that it could be Dino Crisis remake, which is really exciting because that was also on the PlayStation 1.
So to me, there's such a massive difference between those two games.
That's exactly how I feel right now. I'm just like, Resident Evil 8, ooh, that's exciting. Oh, Dino Crisis remake. Yeah.
But
one's zombies, one's dinosaurs. It's basically the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but Dino Crisis 1 was actually a very good game that did push the hardware to the limit, just kind of like Resident 2 did. And
when
they say remake, they're talking about using their new engine to completely remake something.
But a game coming out now where you're shooting dinosaurs with AK-47s just doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah, but imagine the atmosphere of it, like being chased by velociraptors and having a T-Rex just come like peering through the tree lines and things in that.
Yeah, but shooting them with an AK-47 just.
I don't
Dino
think
Crisis never appealed to me because of that. It was like modern warfare against dinosaurs. It's just weird, man. I don't know. never really appealed to me. But that's just me. A lot of people love Dino Crisis, so
yeah, it's got a lot of hype. So those are the two big ones that it could be at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think
it's
more likely to be Dino Crisis than Resi 8. I think I don't think Resi 8 is coming out anytime soon because we've got Resident Evil 3.
With Resi 3 coming,
so I don't think they need to release it anytime soon. As long if they really, they're currently on track to release like one Resident Evil game a year. That's basically how the last like 3 years have gone, and how it's going to continue, I imagine. So I don't think that they're ready for a play test just yet. I imagine for Resi 8, if Resident Evil 3's coming out.
You'd be surprised. Yeah, I mean they're probably slightly different teams that are working on it. I imagine the people working on the worked on say Resi 2 and are working on Resi 3 are probably a slightly different group to that worked on 7.
Yeah. I do have one question though. How do I join the Resident Evil Ambassadors program?
Well, the people that they're asking to test this are the most trusted of trusted.
I'm trustworthy.
Yeah.
Capcom,
they
come
are
on, man.
very, very carefully filtering through, and only the very highest ranks of the ambassadors are allowed to come and test this.
All right, here's my thought. So for when Capcom listens to this, Capcom, I've been known to be very trustworthy. I work in clinical trials, and I take patient confidentiality and stuff like that to a very, very serious, degree. And anything that I test would never be released out there into the wild. I wouldn't even tell people I was on the Resident Evil Ambassadors program. I would just love to be a part of what you guys do, and I love you.
Also, you're a zombie. You're a zombie as well.
And I am a zombie. So it really, these games hit home for me. You know?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really relate to the protagonist.
I love seeing all my family get shot in the face repeatedly. It's great.
But you do it to be an ambassador and test.
Yeah. It's my life goal, honestly. Like it's the last thing I want to do with life. Just be a Resident Evil ambassador.
I think that was really good. I'd hire you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll write you a reference and everything.
Thank you.
Okay, so there you go. There's a bit of hype for you.
Yeah.
We've also got another rumour of a sequel of a certain game coming out. Respawn have put out an announcement saying that they're hiring, their Star Wars team particularly are hiring for something that sounds to be a Fallen Order sequel.
That's cool.
They're looking for a senior character artist, level designer, senior software engineer to work on a third-person action and adventure game, which describes Fallen Order pretty damn well.
Yeah.
So there's that. Not really much else to say about that, apart from obviously it's done really well, and EA have seen the effects of that and are obviously pushing and funding for a new one.
Well, hopefully they'll actually be a bit more lenient with timelines, though, because EA, I think every problem that I've got Resident Evil stuck in my head. Sorry, just really want to be an ambassador. Every problem that Star Wars seemed to have could have been solved with more time. That's my sort of vibe on it. I haven't played it yet, but I've played a little bit actually. But I've seen a lot of stuff of it, and I'm just like, if they had more time, they could have ironed out the edges and just polished this off a lot more, and it would have been like near perfect sort of thing. But I just get the vibe that EA did their usual, and they're like, right, you have to release it by now. So although I have heard, what did I hear? Something to do with Disney, where Disney needed it to be released at a certain time because of the Star Wars schedules or something. Yeah, so it had to be. It had to be like done before a certain time before the Star Wars big release, so it didn't detract any attention from that or something like that. It was weird, some sort of weird Disney shit.
It does make sense.
I think maybe it's like to get the hype up a bit before, so that it gets people more interested in wanting to actually watch the film.
Part of the agreement sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah, there's probably a whole lot of strategy in how they've done this, but as I say, the fact that this has done so remarkably well, been received so well by the community, is a great sign, because hopefully EA will see that and just take a step back from their current monetization models and the way that they're funding these new projects.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't interfered with this one yet, which is really promising. They haven't come in and said, "Look, here are all the skins you can get. Here's a multiplayer mode."
Yeah, but they know that.
I can imagine at any moment that there's any kind of drop in money and anything like that. They're going to be like, "Yeah, just like get the drop shits in, get the crates in."
Yeah, they're not going to stop doing what they're doing, but this means that they might still fund good single player adventure games as well as those other things.
Yeah, I think EA are smart, right? They're not stupid. We have to remember that, and they know that if they touch Respawn, there's going to be an uproar because everyone still respects Respawn a lot. And if they start doing all this, loot box shit to their games, then there's going to be a big thing. And they know that Respawn won't get any of the blame for it, and it'll be entirely EA's fault. And EA will get the blame for it, and they'll lose money in the process. So they don't. What's the point? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's yeah. They
took a risk with this one, and it's paid off. Obviously, it wouldn't have made anywhere close to as much as some of their other projects have made, but in terms of the reception to it and people's attitudes towards the company, it's swayed it in a positive direction.
Yeah, definitely.
That will definitely have a long-term impact, I think.
Yeah, it would be great if EA could start focusing on more single-player focused games and stuff. Like, could you? I know it sounds weird, but could you imagine like a Battlefield game that's not just online, but in fact not even just online, just not online at all, just like a proper war story Battlefield game?
That'd be quite cool.
Would be amazing.
It's really
it's mad.
The gunning gameplay itself is actually quite decent, and the way that they make the buildings get destroyed and stuff is really well done.
Yeah, like the set pieces is just insane. The stuff that comes up in multiplayer, like these bloody zeppelins and shit, and just like this massive scale warfare, just something like that in a single player focused game could be phenomenal, man. Like it could be so good, and it's just phenomenal. Yeah, there's so many like good games that they have that could have a really good single player if they just gave it the chance and stopped focusing on all this loot box crap. So
I feel like the lashback from the community is starting to show that it's worked, because the end of this year, the last 6 months or so, we're seeing all of these single player titles start to actually come to market.
Yeah, because they released that other one, didn't they? Sea of Solitude, is that what it's called?
Yeah,
just a single player. Yeah, Sea of Solitude, just a single player game. Like, do you know what I mean? It wasn't really anything. There was nothing loot boxy about it. It was just a single player experience, like a little indie game. And it was like,
not just EA either. I mean, even with Call of Duty, like the last Call of Duty game or two didn't even have a campaign, and because people have been pushing and lashing back against it, they've actually put a lot of effort and time into this new one. Obviously, you've got Outer Worlds as well, which people are really happy about, and Bethesda are quaking in their boots a little bit.
Oh, Bethesda, man! Bethesda is the studio to watch next year. I need to. I'm watching them like a hawk. I can't. They need to do something. Do you know what I mean? They need to really drastically change their sort of.
You've got to pull up their pants.
Yeah, because they've been so comfortable with their IPs and stuff, and now that Obsidian have turned around and been like, look, we can do it. Do you know what I mean? It's just like. You're going to have to actually start putting in a bit of effort now, guys. So, come on.
I'm going to use that segue to jump on to another bit of news about Bethesda.
Oh, God.
So, we have some more wonderful Fallout 76 news.
Yay!
The greatest MMORPG of the generation.
Yeah.
You know what we need? We need like one of them little sound cues that whenever something, like, for example, when me and Ben went, yay! We need a bunch of kids going, yay!
Well, if that Zencaster actually worked, then we could have done it on there. But
oh, we could have, couldn't we? Oh, sad. All right. Anyway, sorry.
Fallout 76. So, cast your minds back a little bit to the initial launch, and one of the biggest issues people had when they started playing the game was that it felt a bit empty.
Yeah.
One of the best things about the Fallout series was the interaction with the NPCs and the factions and the quests, and just kind of hearing people talk and interacting with them. That was like the juice of the game, really. It wasn't the gunplay, that's for sure. So people were playing Fallout 76. Yeah, they were solid RPGs for a long time. So when people were playing 76, realised that there were no NPCs in the world at all to give quests or anything. It was just you and some other players in this huge place, supposedly. It was a bit lackluster. So people have been asking for this for ages, and Bethesda keeps saying that there's this update coming out which is going to have real human NPCs. Like, oh wow, revolutionary technology, NPCs in a video game, whoa. So that's supposedly coming, but from what I understand, that hasn't quite come yet, and it's just around the corner. And
it's been pushed. It's been pushed back loads of times, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's a very big corner.
It's a very big corner. They clearly have their minds focused on the Fallout. What are they calling it? Premium subscription, £100 a year. So yeah. Anyway, so they did a free weekend a little while ago, thinking that somehow that would make more players come and play their game and give it a shot and whatnot. So one of the problems you have with free-to-play games is it's free to make as many accounts as you want, and therefore you're not really worried about being banned. So basically, a load of hackers, should we call them, or cheaters, have released a ton of scripts online that they've developed during this free period, which are allowing PC players to do things like spawn weapons and armor and props into the world. And one of the things that somebody screenshotted and posted online was, the gigantic ship from 3 or 4 that the
Brotherhood of Steel,
yeah. Huge thing,
Number
the Zeppelin
4,
thing.
yeah.
Somebody just climbed up a ladder and spawned that in the sky. So all these players are looking up at this thing, going, "Where the hell did that come from? That doesn't exist in 76." And on top of that, they're spawning NPCs into 76. So the world is full of NPCs, and they're literally coding them to be like their companions and bodyguards. And these guys have they have gear, and they're walking around and they're patrolling and they're fighting enemies and whatnot.
Oh my god!
So cheaters have managed to get NPCs into the game.
So the cheaters have made a game better, basically.
Well, I don't know about that. They've completely broken it. They've completely destroyed it. People were having things. I read about somebody's experience where they were a bit confused because they came across an NPC in the world, so they walked up to it to interact with it, and as soon as they touched it, they exploded and died. So there's some weird stuff happening at the moment. It's a very, very broken game. And it turns out that ZeniMax doesn't even have a proper cheat engine, so people are now going, please, can we have some anti-cheat software? Please. I say
the actual 7 people that play the game still.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, just let it.
We must band together, guys. All 7 of us
holding hands.
It's like the end of the world for them, isn't it? They're all just in one server, just watching chaos unfold around them, and they're just please, ZeniMax, help us.
It's the apocalypse all over again.
The apocalypse is upon us.
Take my £100. I can't do this anymore.
It's going to be a post-apocalyptic world.
Post-apocalyptic. Post-apocalyptic apocalypse. Jesus Christ. That's a
Royal Mail.
What?
I don't know.
Why did you just say Royal Mail?
You said post a lot. It made me think of Royal Mail.
Oh.
I don't know. So, there's some juicy Fallout 76 news.
Royal Mail.
Fallout 76 is dying. The one thing that they could do to save this, I think, is actually kill it, but in a really spectacular way. Kind of like they did with the original... Yeah, something like that, but an in-game event. Like they did it with Fortnite recently to, bring in the new chapter. But also the original Final Fantasy MMO, 14 MMO, which came out on PlayStation 3 and PC. Wasn't received that well. The development was all over the place, and it was kind of like this. It was a broken game, but it still had a really solid community that played there. And I don't know if you guys know about this, but it was fascinating what they did. I know I'm tangenting here, so I digress. But basically, they over the space of a week or two, the developers put a little red star in the sky. Just a couple of players spotted it. Was was that star there before? It's just a little red speck. And over the course of a couple of weeks, it got closer and closer and closer. And it turned out it was a giant meteor, and it just came down and completely obliterated all of the servers, and all the players kind of stood there holding hands and singing and watching their world just end before them. I just thought it was a really cool thing. And then on top
it
of
was
that,
really cool.
they spawned the new world in the new Final Fantasy game, which is doing really, really well at the moment.
Otherwise known as Final Fantasy XIV Realm Reborn.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a cool story.
No,
it's a
it is.
cool story.
Yeah. I love it when I like the Fortnite Chapter 2 thing and whatnot. I love it when games do stuff like that. It's so cool.
Totally. So yeah, kill it, Bethesda. Just kill it.
Murder it.
Yeah.
Do something good with your life.
No,
Sorry, it's a bit much.
Okay, I've got 2 more bits for you. So, what should we go for?
Go for the first one.
The first one. Okay, so Modern Warfare.
Ooh.
This wonderful new game, which we all knew was going to have some sort of monetization.
Oh no.
Do you remember when we were playing the beta, Ben?
Yes.
And one of the things we noticed was that the score sheet, the score chart, didn't have a death counter on it.
Yeah.
So you couldn't see your KD or anything like that. So I think at the end of the round it showed you or something, but it didn't really calculate your KD unless you were playing a certain game mode, all that kind of stuff. So, I don't know, people didn't really think about it that much, as far as I'm aware. I thought it was a bit weird that it wasn't there, but it didn't really think much more of it than that.
You have to pay to see your score.
Turns out it's a very, very intentional thing that they've done there. And now you can pay £16, which is what, $20 or so, to buy a cosmetic pack. One of the items being the ability to see your KD at all times. So the functionality is there. They've just taken it away. Which, yeah, I mean, I guess it's like in one sense,
Dan. If you try and justify this, then no. You've lost all credibility. I'm just saying, but
it's totally messed up. But from let's not really think about it point of view, it's kind of like the kill counters that you would get on your weapons on the old like prestige skins and whatnot. You get like a counter, but people are arguing that this wouldn't really give you a tactical advantage or anything like that at all. But it kind of does. That's the problem here. Is that it really does. If you can see your KD, you can adjust your playstyle and you can see where you fit into your team makeup and whatnot. This is a very, very broken, game-changing thing that you can't just restrict people from having access to. And the fact I don't
know about that. It doesn't really. How would you adjust your playstyle according to your KD?
Think about. So the way you win a game in Call of Duty is by keeping your kills above your death count at all times, right?
Yeah.
If you die more than you kill, then you're basically a negative to your team.
Yeah.
So the point is basically, even if you're like 10 to 10 or 11 to 10, that's fine. You just can't be 9 to 10 or 8 to 10. That's not very good. But
depending on the game mode,
keeping track of, yeah, I'm generalizing a bit, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But if you're like, say you're playing a rush strategy and you're just running in with a shotgun all the time, you're dying a lot, but you might be getting a few kills, but you can't really keep track. If you have access to your KD at all times, you can say, look, my deaths are going a bit high, I need to balance this out a bit. I'm going to switch to a loadout or a playstyle which is a bit more slow or tactical or conservative with my deaths. But if you can't see that, I just feel like a team of 5 people that have access to their KDs versus a team of people that don't, there's a balancing issue there.
Okay. My argument with this is that even if I can't see my kill death ratio, I'm not gonna deliberately die more than I'm gonna be killing people. I'm gonna be playing the best I possibly can.
Not necessarily, because it's a game where you can
my KD, I'd still be playing the best I possibly can.
No, I don't think that's true. I think when you're playing Call of Duty Online a lot, you generally do things like use a certain weapon to unlock the skins for it or attachments or level it up, and it does cause issues there. Like, I did find it a bit annoying not knowing how many times I've died, and it's more than just annoying. It's less game sense. It takes some of the game sense away from you in terms of what's going on and what the numbers are. And I feel like you would play around that if you knew. If you were playing on a team of all your mates and you were like two kills to 10 deaths, you would try and do something about it. But if you didn't know, then it's a bit harder to do something about it. No? Do you not agree?
No, I can see what you're saying. Yeah. No, I think the fact that that's hidden behind a paywall is ridiculous to start off with.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know about a tactical advantage. I feel like it's a bit. it allows you to
push.
it allows you to adjust your play style easily.
Which is a tactical advantage by definition.
Well,
No. But I mean, you could still
it almost opens a door for you to see that you need to change your tactical advantage. It doesn't actually give you. It doesn't make you any better at the playing a game, does it?
Yeah, because it's more like if you're playing badly, you kind of know you're playing badly, and then you can change. It just by putting a number to it, it makes it easier to see that you're playing badly or well. Like it's not like if you don't have that, you have no idea how you're doing because it's not because you can still get a vibe. You know, when you die 3 times in a row, 4 times in a row, and you haven't got a kill, you kind of know that you're doing badly, sort of thing. So I don't know if it's like a complete like a binary thing, if that makes sense. It's not just like if you have
I'm talking, yeah, of course, yeah. I know what you're saying. It's not like you turn it on and suddenly your results are always going to be better. I think what I'm saying is, which they will never do this, but if they were to release the stats of teams that had KD counters and teams that didn't, and how they pair off against each other, I think it will overall have an impact on how well those teams play.
Do you want to know why I think that though? I think the people that probably would pay for this kind of thing are probably the more hardcore people. For example,
probably.
If I played this, for example, like Apex Legends, if they did something like that, I wouldn't go out and pay for it because I'm not a hardcore. I'm just a casual player of that. Whereas the people that play it quite a lot, they're probably more inclined to be better at the game and want to pay for that kind of thing.
I mean, if we digress, that like it is still ridiculous that functionality is obvious. I mean, it was always going to be in the game. Of course, they count your deaths and stuff, you know. But I don't understand why it can't just be an option to just turn that on the scoreboard. Like,
it's just a really nasty, cheeky way of rinsing people for money.
Yeah.
When the feature is already there, the numbers are already there. They're just hiding it. It just feels dirty. I don't like it.
But if it's like a cosmetic skin, genuinely, they might have just thought that people don't really care about their KD. You know what I mean? Like, if they thought that, then fine. And the people that do care about their KD, not even that. It's just a feature on a weapon. Do you know what I mean? It's not like it's a.
Yeah.
They might have just thought about it like that. I think it takes the form of a
wristwatch. I think it goes on the character's wrist so you can see it just in the game world rather than on
kind
your
of cool.
UI.
That is quite cool. Yeah, I do quite like that. But yeah, I know what you mean.
I think of all of the dirty monetization techniques and products that people have sold, this is like, for example, I think in the last game they sold a red dot crosshair to people or something. I think it was Black Ops 4. It was like a $5 or something, and it was just a different crosshair for your screen, which was a dot. They sold a dot, like a single pixel, for £5. It's ridiculous. Of all of the ones that have come out recently, this one is the one that I would say benefit of the doubt. Maybe.
Yeah.
Just maybe.
Yeah. But I genuinely think it is the benefit of the doubt thing. I don't think it's that they have it. I don't think they've made this and gone, haha, if people want to see their KD, they have to buy the wristwatch. No, I just think they genuinely didn't think that people really care about their KD enough to put it in the scoreboard. Like, I
don't agree with that at all.
I do. Overwatch have done it as well. Like, what?
But Call of Duty has always been about KD. It's always been like a core thing in the UI. It's always been a really important thing. They knew people would miss it when they took it away. They didn't really talk about it or mention it. And now that they've put it back, people have realised how much they're missing it.
Do you know what?
They're going to grab onto
I think
totally intentional.
Ben, you made up a good point here, yeah. One thing they might have done is that a lot of people, to me, there's 3 types of COD player. There's the casual player, there's the going for objectives player, and then there's the KD player. A lot of the time, these people get mixed up in terms of, for example, if you're playing domination, a lot of people don't play dominations to capture the flags. They play domination
to get all the kills, by camping points, yeah.
Which is against what the objective is. The point of the game is not to have a high kill-death ratio. The point of the game is to win the thing, but people don't care about that because of the kill-death ratio. Just like Overwatch. If people cared about their kill-death ratio, they might not be pushing the payload. They might not do this. They might not be aggressive. They might just sit back and just, look at their KD. But at the end of the day, that's not the objective. The objective is to capture the flags, to plant the bomb, to King of the Hill it, whatever it is, capture the hill. whatever the objective is, I guess at the end of the day, maybe they're trying to push towards that, and which I quite like, because it used to annoy me that people never used to play the objective. They used to just go for their kills.
I like the fact that they took out KD. I know it sounds weird. I do. I like the fact they tell you at the end, and it's still a core thing. But there's by making it something that you can see in the game, it essentially makes players play differently so that their KD is better when it is an objective game. And are you sure? Don't they show your KD in Team Deathmatch?
In 1 or 2 game modes, they do.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So they're showing it in the game modes where KD is actually important, like Kevin said. But like they don't need to show it in Domination because it's not important at all. It's an objective game mode. Well, why does KD matter in that? It doesn't at all.
So destroy doesn't matter. Yeah, the hill doesn't matter. Capture the flag, it doesn't matter.
So, but then at the same time, that argument then goes on to why have they released it as a cosmetic item then? So it's kind of like.
Maybe they released the watch as a cosmetic and they thought it'd be cool to stick a kill death ratio on it.
Yeah.
Benefit of the doubt, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. That's a weird one, though. But yeah.
It is a weird one. I have one more bit of news. It's about the Nintendo PlayStation.
The what, sorry?
the Nintendo PlayStation.
Ah, yes. That infamous console, yeah.
You guys have obviously heard of the Nintendo PlayStation, right?
No.
Obviously.
So, as far as I'm aware, the story goes that when PlayStation was first forming their company and looking to develop a games console, they initially paired up with Nintendo.
Oh.
And rather than creating their own, the two of them came together and prototyped a Super Nintendo console, which was a cartridge-based system, which also had a CD-ROM drive in it, in which you could put PlayStation discs. So that was prototyped and developed, and they played with it a little bit, but the companies fell out, which obviously ended pretty well for both parties involved in the long run. But they had a pretty toxic relationship towards the end, and it never really happened that way. Sony went off and made their own. But a while back, I don't know when it was, 2009 supposedly, some guy called Terry Diebold, cool surname. He
Diebold Age.
bought Diebold Age. Sorry, that was good. He bought a liquidation lot of stock from an old company, from an old Sony exec, which is basically just like boxes of random stuff. And then he took it home and unboxed it all when he found this this Nintendo PlayStation prototype.
Oh, that's mad.
And as far as I'm aware, it's the only one in existence. It's the holy grail of PlayStation video gaming collectibles. And it still works. And this guy's basically spent the last 10 years or so traveling around the world to different gaming expos and museums and things, and letting people see and play with this thing. I think at one point somebody even had to repair it, so it was taken apart, which was probably a pretty nerve-wracking thing.
I can imagine, yeah. Jesus.
But the news is that it's going on sale, finally. People have been waiting for it to go on sale for a long time. Nobody knows how much it's going to sell for, because no one's ever bought one before. But people are expecting this cute little thing to go for well over £1 million, or $1 million even.
Easily, yeah.
He's declined offers for $1 billion already, but he's finally ready to sell it because he doesn't make any money from doing these things, like showing it to people. So
I think he just wants to do it
to sell.
Yeah.
He's done with it, basically.
Yeah.
He's pretty sad about it. I would be. Like, he has to let go of it. He'll probably never see or hold it again, and it's one of the rarest video gaming items in the world, if not the rarest. So yeah, I guess that's a nice little bit of news there.
That's mad that even
one
existed.
Of a kind. Yeah, it is.
That's the only console ever that has a disc and a cartridge in it.
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
Like, no, it is. Like, that's madness. Like,
okay, you say it works, but like, what games can you play on it?
Well, in theory, you can play SNES or PS1 games, right?
In theory. I don't think, because it was probably developed so early on in the PlayStation's development cycle, it might not run PlayStation 1 games.
Okay.
It definitely runs Nintendo games, and the disc drive definitely works in terms of playing CDs. Like, you could put a music CD in there and it would play.
Okay, that's cool.
I don't know if it will play PlayStation games. It might do. I'm not sure.
Pretty mad if it could.
Yeah, it would be. I don't know if I'd ever want to turn it on, but
No.
you know, it's pretty.
Turn it
cool.
on and all the hardware just fries instantly.
I do wonder who will buy it. I mean,
it'll be a collector. Yeah, there wouldn't be museums and stuff will want to buy it, but it will be too much money for them. Even I imagine.
Yeah, I think so. Cool. That's all I've got for you.
Nice. Oh, it's so nice having the
news.
news back, man.
You always find little weird.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that. Every time I went onto the news, it was just like top 15 games of 2019, top board game of 2019, top card game of 2019. It's just like, oh, fuck off. Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I had a
Hold
blast.
on. Let me get out of bed. Give me a sec.
You went to bed? Was it that boring?
No. I laid down. Hold on. Apologies. I'm going to mute my mic for a sec.
So professional, man. Jeez.
I wonder if he'll remember your bit this time.
You don't have to remember my bit. Trust me, there's nothing coming out that's good.
Kevin, what's coming out this week?
Oh, yeah, mate.
Come on, what you mean there's nothing coming out on Christmas Day? What are you talking about?
Santa Claus?
Strikes Back.
That was so fast from my side. Santa Claus Strikes Back.
Alright, this is it. This is the exciting bit. Everyone ready?
Yeah.
Okay, listeners, it is time for our Game of the Year roundup. So,
Dun, 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 dun.
oh yeah, what we're going to be doing is, so next week we're all meeting up. I think we are still meeting up, aren't we?
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Cool. And we are going to be deciding the Praise the Pickle Game of the Year. And I'm not ashamed to say we are pretty much stealing another podcast's idea for now, because we haven't had a lot of time to think about it because we started fairly new, and they are like my
Are we?
Yeah, these are my babies, man. I honestly like.
Oh, I didn't know we were stealing it off them.
Yeah, it's a computer game show.
Oh,
a lot of podcasts. A lot of podcasts do the same formula, but they pretty much coined it. So, thank you, and I love you guys. If you do listen to this and you're like, "Oh my god, why have you stolen our idea?" I'm very sorry. We will think of something different next year, but for now, we love your idea, so we're using that for now. Thank you. And listen to the computer game show if you haven't already. They're really good. Little cheeky shout out for our few listeners. So, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be picking 4 games each, so we're going to have 12 games. We're going to take turns in picking so that, you know, one person doesn't get all the best picks. So like we all pick one at a time until we all have 4. And then our 12 games will be considered our top 12 games of the year. And then next week, essentially, what we'll be doing is facing them off against each other. So we pick them out of a hat, and it's Game X versus Game Y, and then the one, whichever game is better out of those two that we decide, we all vote on it, and that one moves on to the next round until we end up with our top 3. And then we have to decide out of our top 3 which one will be our game of the year, and it's all voting based, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So
a lot of convincing,
yeah. So for now, we are going to be deciding our top 12. So you will get to strap in and enjoy this. And what I'm going to do is random number generator. And
I've got a dice in my hands.
All right, do dice. Yeah. So Dan, you're 1, 2, Kevin 3, 4, Ben 5, 6, and whoever gets it picks first.
It's a 3. I forgot who that was though.
Me.
Cool.
Yes. Cool. So Kevin, you get first pick for Game of the Year 2019. Go.
I'm gonna pick my number 1, which was Resident Evil 2.
Resident Evil 2. You're a bastard. I hate you. How am I going to get into the Ambassadors program if I don't even pick Resident Evil 2 as my Game of the Year?
You can still vote for it and support it.
Yeah, that's true.
When
the Game of the Year thing actually comes out.
But I want my game to win whatever I pick.
So
you don't have to explain now. We'll explain why we've done it next week. Yeah. Cool.
Ben, high or low?
High.
It is low, so it's me next.
Yep.
My first game is Gris or Gris.
Gris. Yes.
Yes, which you spoke about last week, and I will speak a bit more about today.
Yeah. We don't have to go into massive detail though, because we'll be Game of the Year in the heck out of it. So.
But I'm gonna want to.
I know you're gonna have to wait. I'm afraid. All right, so I get last pick. Fantastic, you bastards. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I'm a bit thrown now because Resident Evil 2 was mine.
Are you not gonna go first in the next set of 3? Do you kind of want to do like a little swing? So it'd be like me, Dan, you, Dan, me,
Yeah,
Dan,
sure.
you.
We can swing back.
Yeah, can do. All right, I've got pick 2 now. Then Jesus. All right.
Yep.
Death Stranding.
Nice.
It's my.
I'm glad you picked that.
First one. Yeah.
I'm still listening to that soundtrack like every.
I know, it's mad, isn't it? So me and Charlotte just have it on all the time. We listened to like Panic Room on like full volume driving down the motorway the other day. So good.
Kevin, you should check that out. You'd like that.
Yeah, very good.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure we've recommended it to him about 3 weeks in a row now, and he still hasn't picked it. So okay, and my number 2 game. Ooh. My list is just so long. Death Stranding.
Oh.
It's not my number 1. It's just my 4 best games of this year. Yeah. My number 2 game is Katana Zero.
Nice.
That's
I've
one.
just downloaded that on Switch. I'm looking forward to playing that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'll play it before Game of the Year. So
see if you can. Honestly, it's about 4 or 5 hours max. It's really good fun as well. I'd recommend it. Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's in my Game of the Year list, so I bloody better recommend it. Gone.
Cool. So over to me.
Yeah.
Like a pendulum.
Yes.
My second game is.
Oh, wait, let me write these down. Hold on. Yeah, that's fine. You can say it. Go on.
My second game is Arise, a simple story by Piccolo, published by Techland. Played both this and Gris in the same week, and both of them were equally stunning and blew my mind.
Whoa.
I can't believe I've played 2 of my favourite games of all time in the space of the last week or 2.
Good, I'm glad.
Hold on. Sorry, I'm writing everything down.
Good.
Resident Evil. Sorry for typing. So there you go. Kev, Dan, you're not supposed to sell them right now. Stop.
Yeah.
Everyone should play it.
Stop. But yes, I fully agree. Yeah. Kev, go.
Apex. Apex. It's my number 2.
Apex Legends. Okay. So back to Dan again?
Nope, Kevin's got another one with Pendulum.
Oh, yeah.
Goose Game.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I'm so glad you picked that, yeah.
Proud of you, Kevin.
I'm going to try and play that before New Year. I think New Year.
Oh, yeah.
Before Game of the Year, yeah. Because I don't want it to go out in a really early round because you're the only one that's played it. So, and it's not very long, is it? It's quite short.
So sell it. You played a goose.
Yeah. It's
coming to Game Pass soon, by the way.
Oh, is it? Oh, man.
Yeah,
that means I don't want to buy it.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I give you my account?
Oh, shit. Yeah. Do that. Yeah. Cool. Yep.
Nice.
All right, Dan, your next one.
My next one. This one's a little bit of a curveball because it came into early access December last year, but the official public release was December this year in terms of it coming out of early access, and the game is Hades.
Oh, very nice. I need to try and play that as well. I've got your account actually. I don't have your account. I'll play it. I could play a little bit. I don't have to play a lot of it, do I? Just to get an idea.
Yeah, just get a feel for it.
Yeah. Right. So this is my number 3, isn't it? No, my number 3 and 4. Sugar honey iced tea.
Madagascar. Flashbacks.
All right. I want to get some interesting ones in it because Kevin's got Resi too, so I'm pretty set right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for Void Bastards.
Nice.
Yeah, I loved that game. I thought it was brilliant.
I liked it, but I wouldn't, because I played a fair bit, not as much as you. I wouldn't put it in my game of the year list, but
yeah, but that's because you're a fool. So
okay, all right. Well, I look forward to hearing you try and sell that against these other games.
And then my number 4. So this is my last pick, and I really want to win Game of the Year. So what do I pick? Because at the moment it's not looking great on my list compared to you. I got Death Stranding, Katana Zero, and Void Bastards against Grish and Resi 2. Oh dear. What could I win with? I'm gonna go for Control.
Imagine.
Curveball. No, I'm gonna go for. It's out of 2, and I really can't think.
What are the 2? Tell us what
Okay,
the 2
the 2 are. Wait, what are the 2? I've got one here. What's the other one? No, it's out of 1. There you go. Okay, my last one is Luigi's Mansion.
Nice, good choice. Oh, I think.
Yeah.
So I've heard.
Yeah, no, it's very good. Me and Charlotte will complete it. We are two levels away now. We've played a lot more today, so 2 levels away from completion, and it's still very, very good. So yeah,
I'm very happy that's made it in.
I'm glad we got a Nintendo game in there.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's me. This is tricky because there's a game that I want to be in there. There's 2 games that I want to be in there.
Mm-hmm. What are they?
But I kind of want Kevin to tell us what his last ones are first.
It's not how it works, so.
Yeah, sorry.
What are your 2 then?
It's 3 really.
What?
No, it's 2. You're maybe going to disagree with me on one of them anyway. I kind of want Outer Worlds to be in there. I know we only gave it a 7 or an 8. But I think in terms of a turning point in the industry and what it meant for gaming and how it was as a complete kind of package, I think I rated it
In fact, you know what? Shush. You pick whatever you want without even telling us your options, and then afterwards we can discuss what our other options were. Because I don't want us to sway you whatsoever. So you pick whatever you want to pick. Then
my last pick is, and I will play more of this before the event, is Disco Elysium.
Cool. Good pick. I mean, I feel like if we have a Game of the Year list and Disco Elysium's not in there, then we've lost all credibility of the podcast anyway. So, and Kevin, your final pick? Don't do it, man. Don't be a dick.
See, mine's a stick between 2.
Don't tell us what they are. Just go for it.
I'm gonna have to go Borderlands 3.
Oh yes! I'm so glad you said that. Yes.
I would go for Sekiro, but I don't think I'm even close to finishing that game. So
yeah. All right, let's quickly go. All right, so our Game of the Year, our draft, our contenders per se are Pussy Patrol. Mine are Death Stranding, Katana Zero, Void Bastards, and Luigi's Mansion 3. Mr. Daniels are Grease, Arise, Hades, and Disco Elysium. You got a good list, man. Jesus.
Yeah, you've got a decent little list there.
Yeah, and Kevin's with the mainstreamers has got a Resident Evil 2 remake, Apex Legends, Untitled Goosey, and Borderlands 3. That's a good little list. You sound like a boring fish. No, I don't. I'm only joking. No, it's not what you're really into. Me and Dan love indie games. You don't play them as much. So of course your list is going to be mainstream.
That's a really interesting set of 12.
That is, yeah. It's got a nice little mixture of games in there. Definitely, there's a lot of different genres in there as well. Actually, thinking about it,
yeah.
Compared to most lists, it's more like action or adventure focus or whatever. Ours are very much different sort of play styles in each game. Very interesting.
Choose FIFA.
If you picked FIFA, man, I'm done. It's going out in the first round. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. So I can say what else I was thinking of. We'll go through. So I was thinking. My other options were Slay the Spire, I played a heck of a lot of Slade Spire, and it was good fun. But Charlotte helped me pick my list because she's seen me play all these games this year. So and she was like, "You did like it, but you were always doing something else at the same time, so it can't have been that captivating." I remember I just watched Dragon.
That was my thought process.
Just watched loads of Dragon's Den videos while playing it. And
So random.
Yeah, I don't know why. Another option for me was Devil May Cry 5, but I've only played about 6 or 7 hours of it, so I didn't feel right. I've completed a lot of games this year. It felt weird picking one I hadn't completed, so I was like, nah, I'll leave that one for now. Another option was Blair Witch. I'm joking, that's fucking terrible. Gears 5 was actually another option. I did actually really enjoy it by the end, and it was nice to go back to like a retro style game, or retro for me anyway. Like it felt really like Gears 1, but had good story to it and whatnot. But I didn't like horde mode at all, and I haven't played the multiplayer, so I feel like I'd be putting it as game of the year contender for like 1/3 of the game, which was a bit odd, so I didn't do that. And my final potential was two more. Plague Tale: Innocence I did really enjoy, but again the mind control of the rats towards the end put me off.
Control?
No, Plague Tale. What? Oh, shut up. And Moons of Madness was the other one, which was the sci-fi one set in space, where like little like horror space thing set on Mars, but it was really cool, like proper sci-fi game, which I loved, but wasn't quite there. I didn't quite make it, unfortunately. And I played a load of other shit games that I won't talk about.
You've played a lot of really good games.
I've played a lot of games this year, yeah. Mostly towards the end of the year, to be fair, because I was panicking so much about the Game of the Year list. I was like, we're going to look like such a shit podcast if we don't get all these big games done. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, there's so many games that weren't even that big that I've played. That I mean, Void Basters made the list, and I played that right at the start of the year. And
I like that as I'm happy that's in there because it's such a bizarre, strange.
It's brilliant, man. Void Busters is so good. Kevin, you would love it. Honestly, you should definitely play it.
Yeah, I was kind of sad that we stopped doing the game the month.
Yeah. So it was too much work though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Another section to fill out in the podcast. Definitely too much work for Dan as well.
Thinking about it, actually, you know what? Yeah, thinking about it, I kind of understand how Dan only. I mean, okay, it was a poor effort by Dan, but I think it would have been a big struggle if he managed to finish that game.
And we have and we put Dark Souls 3 forward for our Moonlighting in January. Like, Dan can't finish Evil Within in 3 weeks. How the hell is he going to finish Dark Souls 3 and 4?
I can't finish Sekiro within like 2 months.
But like I said to Dan earlier, Dark Souls 3, remember, you can grind. You can just like power level, so it's not as hard as Sekiro.
I'm good with it. I'll be fine.
We'll see. If that's our game, please vote for anything other than Dark Souls 3. And Dark Souls 3 is an old game anyway. Surely you guys want to hear about new games like Devil May Cry or something,
After Party, which is supposed to be very funny.
And like 3 hours long.
And Oxenfree was excellent. So
yeah, it's true. Yeah. All right, Dan. And what were your other options? Obviously, you had Outer Worlds.
So yeah, Outer Worlds I wanted to include for the reasons I said. Also kind of thought Kevin might pick it, so I didn't pick it.
I'll be honest with you, that was in like one of my bottom lot.
That's interesting.
Thinking about it overall, I didn't enjoy that game that much. I mean, by the end of it, I kind of just wanted to finish it and not stop playing it because I was a bit bored of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely trailed off towards the end. We've spoken about it for 2 hours already, so I won't say much more. But the other ones that I kind of wanted to include... So Disco Elysium, I haven't played enough of it yet to get the full picture, but the several hours I've played of it so far, it just keeps getting better and better and more interesting. And it's absolutely fascinating, so I'm glad I got that.
Yeah. Bit of a gamble pick, that one.
Yeah, I will get more of it in, for sure. It's worthy of winning, 100%. The other one that I wanted to pick was Borderlands 3, but Kevin's picked that, so that's all good. I'm surprised Risk of Rain didn't make it.
Yeah, so am I. I want to ask Kevin about that.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, go on.
Well, I mean, I could have left Reggie 2 for Ben, but then I thought to myself, I kind of want that in there myself. And although I have played Risk of Rain 2 quite a bit, I've not played it remotely enough as other things. I don't know. I still know very little about that game.
Really?
And yeah, I mean,
So
they have
much
recently
of it.
just had an update.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's so much that's changed in it as well. So it's a bit. I thought about putting it in there, but then I thought I can't really say. Okay, you can't even complete the game. I understand that. So, but I haven't even been playing it for like a month, so it's a bit.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, your games are I like your list. I do. Like, I think that's a solid list for Game of the Year. Like, Apex Legends did a lot for multiplayer this year, and it's like it just came out. Like, it just sort of came out of nowhere. It was like, oh, there you go, it's Apex Legends, and it was like, oh wait, you mean a battle royale game can actually be really good? What the fuck? After all these shocking ones we've had for such a long time, and then suddenly this AAA company comes
thing
out.
That people seem to be playing all the time.
Garbage, yeah.
Wait, that's Respawn as well.
Yeah. It's a really good game.
Killing it, right?
Yeah, I might try and get a few games in before Christmas, just to sort of
refresh the
memory for the Game of the Year show. Yeah, I mean, there's a few games on here that obviously my games are fine. I've smashed those out. Greece and Arise I've played. Disco Elysium I haven't played. That's the only bit I'm worried about. I'm never going to get the time to play that before the Game of the Year. Hades is a procedurally generated, that sort of, do it one run at a time sort of game, so I can play a few runs of that. And Apex Legends, an Untitled Goose Game, I'm going to try and get in a little bit, which would be good.
Borderlands 3?
No. I noticed how I left that one out.
Kevin, we've got to make sure that wins. It's 2 against 1.
Of course.
Alright, Borderlands 3 against, Greece. Go on, Dan.
Borderlands 3.
Bollocks. That's a good segue. So let's move on to what we've been playing. But anyway, that's our Game of the Year draft. So those are the games that will be facing off against each other at random next week. So stay tuned for that, and we'll be in person again as well. And you can find out our top 3 for the Praise the Pickle Pod and our Game of the Year for the Praise the Pickle Squad. Anyway, what have you been playing? Dan, roll that dice again. I'll be 3 or 4. Kevin could be 5, 6.
Oh.
6, Kevin.
Go on, Kev. You start.
You've
been playing more puzzle this week.
No, I finished that.
I got a new one.
That got me last week. I've been playing a game called Puzzle. That's a weird name for a video game.
Yeah, I remember you said it. I remember I said it in the podcast. So I just googled the word puzzle.
So I've had a few more sessions on Sekiro. I'm getting a little bit further, but I've kind of, the game's dragging a bit now for me. As in, I feel like I've been playing this game for ages, and I don't feel like I'm getting any better at the game, which I don't like. I think my problem with it is I sit down for about 2 hours, and that's about as much time as I have. I can't really get in there to really, push myself and get myself that much better. And I found myself, I think the last 2 bosses I've come up against, I've cheesed them basically. I've done really I haven't played the game how it's meant to be played, because I don't have the time to figure out how they move, how they do this stuff. I'd be so far behind if I didn't. I don't know. Don't get me wrong, I still really enjoy the game, and I like the game itself is just so satisfying, and it's just so nice. But again, I feel with my lack of time and how long the game is, and my patience, they don't mix very well together. And not only that, I just feel like I'm so far away from the end of the game.
How many main bosses have you beaten?
2.
I think there's 4.
Oh. What?
Yeah, there's not many.
Oh, well, there's me thinking I'm okay. All right. Oh,
Yeah,
fair enough.
it's not. I think don't quote me on that, but I think I know there's not many main bosses. It's a lot like quite a few sub bosses they call them, but
There's a million of them.
yeah. So I think that's what they've gone for in this game, like more sub bosses and less main bosses, which is quite good. I think because.
So there's one boss in particular. I think his name was called like Seven Spears or something.
Mm.
How many spears does he have?
One, and it's a freaking huge spear. I found this guy ages ago. Okay, and I tried facing him a few times, died every single time. Since then, I've done a bit more, gone a bit stronger, I've gone back, haven't got any further into killing him. I then looked online about, little ways to kill this guy. A lot of people have said this guy is actually probably the hardest thing in the game, even harder than the very final boss.
What about Madam Butterfly? Have you faced her yet?
I'm pretty sure she's like one of the last ones you can...
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah.
But considering this guy, you don't have to kill this guy. He's just chilling there. But he is by far the hardest thing. And I think I must have I want to say a good 50 times tried to kill this guy. Still haven't killed him. It's unbelievable. And also, there's so much... Again, I told you last week that I've missed so much of this game? And again, it's the same situation. I ended up realising I upgraded my like special arm. Realised I didn't actually equip all the upgrades, so I was still using the very beginning ones.
Nice.
Yep. I only literally just did that this morning when I played a little bit of it.
So that could help then.
It could help, yeah. It probably would help quite a lot. But yeah, I am slowly getting my way through it. I'm finally onto a bit where you're seeing a lot of monkeys and stuff, which is I've heard a lot about monkeys. So
yeah, there's the famous monkey boss in it.
Yeah, I saw a little bit that he rips off, or you pull off his head and he uses it and smacks you around with it a bit. But yeah, so there's that. I won't go too much. You said I banged on about it. And what else have I played? So I Risk of Rain played again, and I ended up getting the final character, the little he's like a little plant dude.
Oh, you have to carry the thing from your drop point.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't realise that kept messing me up because it's unstable or something. So I was getting hit by bosses and then it was exploding in my pocket and killing me.
Yeah, it's because you're going below 25% health.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know everything about it.
I had to Google it, alright? Yeah, played with him for a little bit. It's quite enjoyable. He's really, really different. Definitely different play style to all the other characters.
But isn't there another new
character?
A new one. The other day?
He's like a melee poison character.
Rex or something? A dog of some kind?
Yeah, I think
like
I think Rex is the plant one. Is it not?
No, there's another one since the plant.
Yeah, no, I know. He's melee. Yeah, he's poison dude.
Cool.
I haven't got him yet. I haven't. Since that update, I've played it like once, and I hadn't had a short amount of time to play a game, so it's whatever. And then I played a little bit more Modern Warfare. Still died to a lot of random moments again.
Yeah, but it's your fault, Kev. It's your fault,
Okay. Another situation, yeah. I was with my little army, yeah. There were some tanks in front of us. I was literally walking next to the tank, and then an airstrike comes in, blows the tank up and blows me up.
Should have checked the sky.
So I was like, cool, well, I won't be going near that tank again. But the game is quite... I mean, it obviously was on my list of game in a year, but again, I haven't completed the game. But it's actually a really, really nice game. It's just a good, nice, chilled game.
Dying to an airstrike sounds well chill, yeah.
Well, if you can miss the BS deaths, then you'd be alright. And then yesterday night, I had a little game night with my boys. And I played Mario Tennis.
Oh, what? Nice. You met up?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Mario Kart. the newest one. What should I play? FIFA. I know I played FIFA 20 for the first time, but there's something actually FIFA. They've added a like new kind of game modes on it, so you have like a mystery ball. It's called, and every single time the gameplay stops, so like a throw in or corner, goal kick type thing, it gives you a different all your players a different bonus. So some of them you can have extra speed, some of them you have extra shooting, extra passing. It definitely mixes it up a bit. It's actually quite fun.
I was really hoping mystery ball would be like a different type of ball.
Yeah, I thought that at first as well.
You get a rugby ball sometimes, or a golf ball, or a bowling ball.
That'd be brilliant.
A lead ball.
But yeah,
it just changes. Like just as he's about to shoot, it just changes into a lead ball, and it just breaks his foot.
Just goes off injured. But I've definitely. I mean, I spoke to my mate about it afterwards, and we said that we do kind of miss FIFA, but we only miss it just for the playing it with mates kind of thing, and we're not around enough to do that.
Yeah, I know that feeling. There's a lot of games are like that where I miss the moments with friends more than I miss the actual game. Like I miss League of Legends. I miss our group that we had playing. I don't miss the game. I don't think that. Well, maybe I do. I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah. Mario Tennis, absolutely. Oh, that game so good. If that came out this year, man, that would have been on my game list. The game of the year.
Really? Oh, I'm gonna have to play it at some point.
It's so fun. It's so much fun.
Did you play it with the motion controls?
Yeah, I think.
Did you have to swing your hand to?
Oh
hit
no,
the
no,
ball?
no! I haven't played that. No.
Okay.
And then Mario Kart. I'm terrible at that game, but it is. You know what? I don't usually like playing games I'm really bad at, and usually I'm quite against Mario Kart. But I had a really good session because it was just quite fun. And I played Rainbow Roads, and I didn't fall off. It's the first time I played that, and I've never fallen off.
Wow.
That's an achievement, yeah.
And I think I came like third in it, so I was quite.
It's pretty good.
I mean,
yeah, I really want to play Mario Kart as well. It's the sort of thing where it's like I've got a Switch, and I have so many like indie games on it, but like barely any first party games like at all. I've got Link's Awakening. Actually, no, I've got a fair few. No, I've got 4. No, ignore that. Yeah, don't worry. Continue.
And then, we also played that. What's the? It's like a game where you have to run away from like there's like 4 of you and you have to turn on generators and you have to run away from a guy who's running around trying to kill you.
Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. I played that as well.
Any good?
I can imagine it being fun with friends, but playing it with other random people is very naff.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I can't really have. I only played like a game of it.
Yeah.
But
okay, are you doing a bit of market research for a Switch, Kev?
Do it.
Again, I'd love to get a Switch, but I just don't know where I'd play it. I don't know when I'd play it.
I think you play it more than you think because you play it in basically any situation where you're not on your computer. You play it. So like if you were watching, I don't know, watching TV, but you're watching something that's not like something you're madly into or something, then you play it then. You can play it in bed before you're about to sleep a little bit. You can play it. Like, I don't play mine massively either, but it does make for fun things like that. And you have to remember, like there are a lot of times you play it over your PC. Like, for example, me and Charlotte played Luigi's Mansion today on the TV instead of playing a PC game because there are a lot of good games on it that you can only get on there. So, but yeah, I don't know.
It'd be. I just wish there were more hours in a day, man.
I know. Tell me about it.
You know, it's going to sound really bad, yeah, but I don't really get much sleep at the moment, and I basically had like a 2-minute power nap during Star Wars at the beginning of it.
Hey mate, I've done that so many times.
Because I was there and like my eyes kept closing and I was like, and then obviously at one point Callum just like punched me in the arm and he's like, "Are you asleep?" And I was like, "No." And I was like, "Definitely was asleep because I feel really awake now."
Yeah, you have that little mental battle, don't you? Just before you're falling asleep, you're like, would it be that bad if I fell asleep? Like, how badly do I want to see this film? Like,
well, I actually really wanted to see it, but I think Yeah, and I think I missed quite an important part of it because they started talking about something. I was like, when the bloody hell did that happen?
Yeah, you're like, I had a 2-minute power nap, and then in reality, you were actually asleep for like 2 hours of it.
Yeah.
That was a short one.
It was a half-hour long. What's going on?
But yeah, that's my rundown.
Nice.
Nice. Bit different this week.
Yeah. All right, Dan.
High or low?
High.
It's low. So I've got 2 weeks of games.
Oh God. Strap
But
in,
I haven't
guys.
actually played that much, so it feels more like 1 week. I'll start with the one I've already spoken about. Gris.
Yes.
Lightning.
I too have completed this because last pod I hadn't completed it. I completed it the next morning with Charlotte.
Oh, you got a full palette.
Yeah.
As soon as it was over, I immediately knew that this was potentially my one game of the year game, like the best game I played this year, and probably quite easily in my top 5 of all time. It was something so special. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just wow.
Although we have to admit that Control had better graphics.
Oh,
Hammy. Oh.
I can't deal with it. I can't.
It's so beautiful. The art in that game is amazing. And I must say as well, for any of you that are listening who are not really good at games or into games that much, you should still play this because you can't even die. Like there's no failing in this game.
I said this last week, Dan. Get some new content. Yes, I'm stealing my content.
Sorry.
I'm joking.
Shall we talk about Cubehead as well, who I also adored?
No, we can't. I spoke about him last week.
Yeah, I mean, you've already spoken about it. I won't say much more other than you hadn't completed it last week.
No.
And that ending sequence, the sort of cutscene type thing.
That last level, right, when basically from the moment you get the colour palette yellow, from that moment onwards, it is that next like 20 minutes, half an hour is like some of the best gaming I've ever experienced ever. Some of the best art I've ever experienced. Some of the best. Yeah. It was just insane. Like it was beautiful.
I've got goosebumps just thinking about it. Just the statue at the end, and man.
But just play it. It's £7 on Switch at the minute. It's like £5 on Steam because of the sales. Honestly, if you don't play it, you're a bloody moron because it is just insanely good. And I can't even. It's just amazing. We're gonna have to think of some better words to describe this game by next week.
Oh yeah, I'm saving it for next week. We're gonna do a full breakdown of this.
So listen to our game of the year, and you'll hear a lot more about Greece.
Yeah, amazing. Couple of other things I've tried.
Oh, we need to talk about Arise as well because you weren't here last week.
Oh yeah, so Arise was special.
Very.
Arise was very, very, very special. So I'm sure I spoke about it a bit, but then you put me off because
I said I said I'll play it, and then you weren't there last week. I hadn't played it anyway, but now I have played it. So
cool. Okay, so we can go into it a little bit spoiler free. The game is a 3D platformer. The camera angle can be a bit funny at times, but that's literally my only complaint with it.
Yeah, it was a bit. Some of the gameplay-esque stuff was a bit fiddly at points, but
you missing weird jumps.
Yeah, but kind of like it didn't feel like Mario to control. Put it that way. But it was not. No. But you'll get used to that within a couple of levels, and it really isn't bad.
But I can talk about the time mechanics with you a bit more now.
Yeah.
Because I thought they were
brilliant. They're so good, weren't they?
So you basically, the reason that you can't move the camera around is that you use the right stick on the controller to move time back and forth. And in some levels, you're only fast forwarding seconds, like all the way to the left and all the way to the right spans the space of 15 seconds or something. And on the other levels, it's an entire year of seasons. So the one level that I thought did it perfectly in terms of a gameplay mechanic was the third level or so, which was the darker level where
the mountain
is crumbling.
Yeah.
And there's like big boulders flying through the sky and knocking things over, and bridges are crumbling in the distance. And I think the bit where I kind of got the fine tuning of it was where you have to basically hop onto the boulder and then rewind time and then slowly walk on the boulder as it's like flying through the air. I loved that
so it's
much.
like spinning and you're sort of walking on it like a conveyor belt as it's moving. It's so good.
It's all about the story though, this game. And it's obviously a bit of an emotional roller coaster, shall we say.
It's really hard because Greece and Arise are very different, but we've both played them in such a short span of time. So Greece is like a sad story, right? So it's about something sad that's happened, yeah? But Arise is basically, so someone, basically it starts off and you're dead. That's it. Yeah, you die, you get burnt, and you're in like the afterlife or limbo, whatever you call it. And I know you explained this last week, Dan, but 2 weeks ago. But you're basically reliving your life in like. Imagine if your life was a Disney movie. It's kind of like that, and you're reliving it, but Disneyfied. That's how I saw it anyway. And it was like, so each level is like a stage of your life, and you're reliving
the kind of symbolic abstractions of all the different emotions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and all the key moments get sort of relived through these sort of abstract tellings of them, if that makes sense. But with the puzzle, like the sort of puzzle platforming mechanics in it, and so
it's kind of dark and miserable at times because you feel all of the loss throughout this person's life, and some of it is really sad, like really, really devastating. Some of the things that this guy has been through, but the coming together of all of it in the level
second to last, oh my god, that level, man, was just
what a stunning experience that was. Just I don't want to say too much.
No, don't say anything because people will need to play this game. Like, they
really want people to play this. These guys have never made a game before, and I think everybody needs to go out and support them because this was phenomenal.
Yeah,
that's a cool thing to say.
It's oh man,
it just. I've never played a game that is so sad and so happy at the same time.
Yeah,
I felt I was a wreck afterwards. Right. I played it with my wife. My wife played most of it, to be fair. I would play the old game together, but she was absolutely bawling at the end, right? Like just like so many tears, but they weren't sad tears because it wasn't sad. It was lovely.
It wasn't depressing.
It was such a night that ending. Oh, just the ending, like capture thing. The statue. Oh my god, I just felt so happy and so sad at the same time. I just felt... I felt things, man. I felt so many things.
Oh, yeah, tell me about it. The whole thing was a roller coaster. But the closure was what it needed at the end, and it nailed that.
Oh, oh my god, it was perfection. Like, when the camera pans around and you see the thing she's holding, and it's like, oh my god, it's so good. I want to cry.
But I just backtrack a little bit. It's masterfully made. It's so simple in terms of what you actually do and how the stories are told. But it's so beautifully, masterfully animated that everything is told through these subtle movements and changes to the environment. Wading through snow is amazing, and like the way that water works and the physics and. Oh man, I love this game. I absolutely adore this game.
Oh my god! But I will ask one thing. It has one flaw, one major flaw.
Is
that finished?
I thought it was a 3D platformer.
Say again.
Is that how much it's got? I thought it was a platformer.
It's flaw, Ben. Flaw.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Thanks for your input, Kev.
That's right. I'm here for every time.
I'm here for every time. Yeah, but it's got one major flaw that is really taking the experience down for me. It's that I can't binge listen to the soundtrack on Spotify because it's not on Spotify. Piccolo, please put the soundtrack on Spotify for the love of God, please.
It's beautiful,
thank you.
It's. I feel like the what they called the London Symphonic Orchestra or something did that. It was
It was
such
it was amazing.
Amazing, powerful music.
But it fit every single vibe perfectly. That was the key thing. Like it wasn't just like, because you make a Doom game, you bring in a heavy core metal shite band, you're making a Grease game, you bring in that ambient music, that sort of ambient symphony music. But they have just nailed it so hard. But making a game with so many different vibes, like completely different vibes, like really dark, and it's like this really like powerful, sad music. But then the next one, you're like flying around on bumblebees, and it's like really nice. And then you've got the really sad, but like emotional, but beautiful moment of the second to last level we mentioned before, which had just the perfect music again. And then you got the other one where they're falling in love, the romance level with all the lily pads and stuff. And it's just amazing.
And it just
so
builds up
good.
to those crescendos, and just it just goes right through you.
It's genius. Such an amazing game. Like, again, the same as Grease. If you haven't played it, you're a moron. Play it. I don't care if you don't like it in the first couple of minutes, because you're going to think, all right, what's this all about then? But within 20 minutes, you'll be just hooked. Within 20 minutes, you don't have a choice. You're just there. You're along for the ride, whether you like it or not. Like, you're like strapped into that chair, and you have to complete it. Like,
you can do it in one sitting. And I must say, the level that everyone was kind of speaking and raving about was the one with the sunflowers and the bees and stuff towards the start. I thought that was the weakest moment in the game. So I think get through that. And
after that, it gets
way better.
Yeah, that was still really, really good. Don't get me wrong. Like, just weaker in comparison to some of the later levels. Yeah, like the fire level. The fire with the time mechanic was amazing. Like, it was so good. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough, because we need to talk about this next week as well. So it's not.
Yes. The other games that I've got on my list, I haven't played that much of, but I just want to highlight them. Disco Elysium. I remember 2 weeks ago when I was on it, I was like, I'm going to talk about Disco Elysium later, and I completely forgot to talk about Disco Elysium. So I did play some more Disco Elysium. It's as amazing as I have said before. I'm learning more about it as I play. The writing is unbelievable. It's just so good, and it really tells us this grand story of just politics and really kind of interesting points of view without favoriting or demonizing any of them. Computer Game Show mentioned a really interesting point as well, which I will regurgitate a little bit, but you can even do things with your psyche in that game where you can choose to adopt certain viewpoints and thought processes. So there's a point towards the start of the game where you meet an extremely racist character, and you can even decide that you want to contemplate what he's saying and sort of listen to it and take it on board, and that will start to seed into your persona in the game. But there's all these other little things about, you know what, I'm not going to say anything else this week. I'm going to talk about it more next week on the Computer Game Show. But it's remarkable. It's such an interesting...
on the computer. Are you going on the Computer Game Show next week?
Oh mate, you actually lad.
On the Game of the Year show.
You didn't tell me this. Why did they ask you to guest? Why can't I guest? Come on.
We'll just take over. We'll just kick them all out of the studio. We are now the Computer Game Show.
Just like, welcome to the Praise to Pickle.
Remarkable game. So the ones that I haven't mentioned to you guys yet are, I tried Dauntless on the Switch.
Oh, how is it?
So I played Dauntless when it first came out on PC, so I was already familiar with it, and I did enjoy it quite a lot. But when it first came out on PC, it was a bit of a buggy mess in terms of performance and stuff, and that was particularly apparent in the main hub, like the town, where you can see people running around and you're talking to NPCs and merchants and crafters and that kind of thing. When I went back to play it on PC a few months ago, just for a bit of messing about, that seemed to be resolved. But now playing it on Switch, those performance issues that I felt way back at the PC launch seem to kind of still be there. So it does need a bit of work, but that's only in the town. It runs at what feels like a really, really fluid, solid 30 frames per second in the actual missions in the world.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned last week that you'd seen an announcement for it in one of the shows and you were interested by it, so you haven't played it, have you?
No, yeah, it was in the God, what was it? Indie Showcase, maybe? Yeah, Indie Showcase, because they announced that's when they announced it was coming to Switch that day.
Oh, that's interesting because it's not an indie game; it's an Epic game. But
is it?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why it was in there. Then.
Weird. It's if you've played Monster Hunter, you'll probably get along with it, but I wouldn't expect to get as much depth or content out of it.
That's my worry. Because I've played so much Monster Hunter already. I don't really need another game like that. Do you know what I mean? So.
But at the same time, it is kind of fun to just stick it on for 20-30 minutes and go and slay one of the monsters. And the monsters are very interesting. They're engaging battles with different stages. So the way that the levels work is you're in town, you're in the hub, you choose the type of mission that you can say, I want to go and fight a fire creature or an ice-based creature or whatever. And then it pairs you up, match makes you with 3 other people. You get dropped into this island, and then you all kind of dart off in different directions trying to find it in the world. And then once one of you have found it, you throw a flare into the air, so you all kind of congregate onto it. And then you do battle, and it's good. You can like chop parts of it off and take the tails and the horns out and that kind of thing, which gives you bonus items to use in crafting.
So it's exactly the same as Monster Hunter then.
Yeah, and they don't shy away from that. They're not saying they're trying to be anything different, except a little bit more accessible and whimsical. It's just not as serious, and you can take it quite seriously, I think, if you get to the really hardcore endgame stuff. But it's just kind of a bit of fun.
Yeah, I might give it a whirl. I
don't think I'm gonna get like deep into it, but if you do, either of you, I think it's cross-platform, or if it's not now, it will be soon.
I think it is, yeah.
So yeah, I would play with you guys for a laugh. 3 of us go and slay some.
Yeah, but we could just play Monster Hunter,
Yeah. Monster Hunter's not free though, is it?
Yeah, but me and Kevin have it already, so.
Oh, so you guys can split the cost of a 3rd copy for.
Or you could just, put in the initial cost like we had to.
Okay. Maybe we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Green Giant.
It's pretty good. It works. It works.
It works.
It works well on Switch. It does. It's a perfect type of game for Switch. It just works.
It just works.
I also picked up Darksiders Genesis.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm intrigued.
The only thing that's a bit of a shame about it is that it's only 2-player rather than 3 or 4-player, because I feel like that sort of game would work really well for a big a squad rather than a duo. But the way it works when you're playing a single player is you have the 2 characters. I've forgotten their names. It's like War and Death.
Steve and Erwin.
Bruce.
Sure, Steve, Erwin, and Bruce.
No, Steve. The first one's called Steve. The second one's called Erwin.
Cool. Okay, yeah, we'll go with that. One of them's a gunslinger. One of them's a big sword dude. And when you're playing solo, you switch between them on the fly. So you like tag team type thing. They have slightly different play styles. And it looks really good. It plays really well. The combat's kind of good fun. It's slightly different to other action RPGs like Diablo and Torchlight because you have some verticality. You can pick up and glide around a bit, and there's some climbing puzzles and that kind of thing. There's a bit more of a platformer element to it. The voice acting's okay, I guess. They try and be a bit too quirky, I think, a bit too funny, and it doesn't really land very well a lot of the time. It's just a bit awkward. The music, the background music is really good. I don't know if I should call it a soundtrack, because I don't think it's a soundtrack that I would just listen to, but it fits into the world and makes the combat a lot more engaging. The other thing that it doesn't have, that a lot of these other style of games do have, is a loot system, really. So you just have your weapons, and then you pick up upgrades as you go through the world. But they're like skill upgrades and new active skills. Like at some point you get a spinning frisbee disc thing. But you can't change your equipment out, which feels like something I miss it in a way. Like I like being able to change the look of my character and swap bits of armor out and that kind of thing. But it's a different type of game. But yeah, it's good. It's quite good fun. I would probably pick it up for the fact that it's not 40 quid. The fact that they're only charging 20 quid for it or whatever it is, I think it's worth it. Yeah.
What did you get it on?
PC.
Hey, Kev, there you go. You got a Genesis, buddy.
Yay.
There you go. Yeah, pick it up, Kev. I haven't played much of it,
We
so
can
I'll be
commit
happy to try it,
genocide.
Joris.
What?
Okay, I'm going to move on to...
Oh dear.
I played Outer Wilds.
Oh, there we go. Oh, everyone, prepare your
Buckle
eardrums
up.
for this, okay? Because I just need people to understand that I'm not always wrong. All right. Go on, Dan. What did you think of Outer Wilds, the game of the year in loads of places? It's got astounding reviews from hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of critics.
I didn't hate it. I played it for probably a good 2 or 3 hours, I think. And I really, really wanted to love it. Like, I really, really tried so hard to make it just click into place with me and to get... And I don't get it. Really?
I'm not crazy. I told you.
I'm definitely going to go back to it because it has these really, really interesting parts to it, like the sense of presence in the world and the way you move around it and fly around in space, and the ship that you fly around in, and the fact that it does make you feel like an explorer in this solar system, like you are just a little person floating around in space. It feels like you're playing with toys in a weird kind of way. And the environments are really nice and interesting, and the gameplay mechanics are not. And that's what I'm struggling with.
Is it me, or is it just boring?
The puzzles are really tedious. I get to one place and then I die for whatever reason. The sun explodes, or I accidentally crash my ship.
I've never even seen the sun explode because I kept crashing into planets.
Oh, when the sun explodes, it's quite a powerful moment when that happens. I just kept falling into this bloody black hole over and over again, and it teleported me to the other side of the galaxy, and then I had to drift about a little bit and then tediously kind of boost my way over to this teleporter and then go downstairs and switch the teleporter on and go back upstairs and then teleport all the way back, but it sent me to a different planet and my ship's over on that planet, and it's like, oh god, this is another wasted playthrough, so now I've got to wait 10 minutes or kill myself so I can start all over again. It's like, oh.
I'm so glad. All I want to say is I cannot wait for you to play Control so that people can understand that it's not just me.
You're obviously wrong about that one, though.
Yeah, well, apparently I'm obviously wrong about everything because the critics say it's really good, yeah. So,
I'm definitely going to go back to Outer Wilds, though. I just feel like I lost my patience with it a bit. I feel like once you slot yourself into the world as a player, once all the mechanics and the systems start to make sense to you, once you've started to learn about it a bit more, I think it will have something special about it. As much as I try, I'm not picking up on that yet. It just feels a bit empty and a bit kind of, you know. Yeah. So there's one other game.
Oh my god!
To close off. Sorry.
No, go on.
All right, I just won't talk about it.
No, go. I'm joking. Go on. I'm just excited
this game
for my go.
You will never have heard of before. I almost guarantee it.
You said that about Night in the Woods.
True. This is a game called Seventh Sector. Nope.
Hold on. Let me Google it, and then I can tell you if I've heard it.
No.
No, hold on. Have I heard of this?
It's a random game made by some Russian dude.
No, I haven't. No,
by
that's
himself.
not what I thought it was.
So seventh. Why am I finding that so hard to say? Seventh Sector is a game made by a standalone Russian man whose name is only spelt in Russian, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce it.
Russian.
But he's... The best thing I can compare it to is the game Inside, which I made you play.
Yes, that's what it looks like, yeah. It's quite cool.
There's something really unique about this game. Something really, really special. I've only played an hour or so of it, so I'm only in the first stages, but it seems to be about you as a conscious spark of information or energy, traveling through networks and circuitry. So far, I've only played as basically a tiny bit of light running through different wires, like back and forth. But it's interesting because of the world happening around you as you do it. And I know for a fact that there are certain points where you go into a computer screen and you can see kind of the pixelated, faded silhouette of a character. So you are sentient. You're this sentient piece of information. And later on in the game, I figure that you're going to take over more physical bodies like robots and machines and things. But it's essentially a puzzle game based in cyberpunk Russia.
Cyberpunk Russia.
Exactly. And the animations and the things that are happening in the backgrounds are really, really interesting and so atmospheric and so well done. And the sound design is on point, and it's really good. It's really, really good. And the puzzles are significantly harder than Inside. Some of them are like maths puzzles, some of them are spatial awareness puzzles, and sometimes they really stump you and you have to really, really think about them. But my God, is it good, man.
It looks really good. I'm just looking at the trailer now.
I can't believe I've never heard of it before. I haven't seen a trailer or anything.
No.
I'll tell you how I came across it was the dude that is making, I think his name's Steven. Sorry if I've gotten that wrong.
Stanton.
He's Steve. Yeah, classic Steve. Stanton, the guy that's making Until the End, I believe. Yeah, he was the one that mentioned it on Twitter this morning.
Oh, cool.
And I spotted it and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot.
I love playing unknown games. I'm so intrigued by them.
I would, Ben, if you liked Inside, I think you'll find this one to be, if not really good, then at least something really interesting and fascinating. Kevin, you might enjoy this one. I don't know if you're really into like big puzzler type games or atmospheric games. But it's £5 on Steam at the moment. Totally worth it. Like even for the hour that I've played, it's one of those games where all the puzzles, once they click and they make sense and you figure it out, it's so satisfying, and just a bit more the world opens up, and every single puzzle is different. It never kind of makes you do a practice version of a puzzle and then use the same mechanics later, really. It's always different. So you might spend a significant amount of time mastering a certain type of puzzle, but then you'll never use that again in any of the other things. And that just keeps it interesting. And just the environments are so good.
I just watched the trailer. The environments look mad. Made of Unity good as well, so it's probably beautiful.
Yeah, it's dark and atmospheric, but it's a really interesting game. I don't know how we're going to go with the game of the year, but this one could have snuck up there.
Yeah. We can just so I think we can might as well discuss it now. So basically, we have our 12 games, but between now and when we record, we have an option to swap in one game. Okay. So you can replace one of your games with a different game if you get a chance to play something different and you think it's better than what you've already got.
Cool.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm in full agreement.
Kevin?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Cool. Is that everything, Dan?
Pretty much. Highly recommend 7th Sector. Give this guy some support. It's really, really good.
Well,
£5.
Should we say nice game in Russian?
Nice game in Russian.
Hold on, let me just Russian translation.
You know all these Russian accents you might be offended by, so I might not send this.
Koroshaya igra.
Koroshaya igra.
Goya.
And I'm going to say thank you. Spasibo.
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 Ben,
what have you been playing this week?
Oh, well, I've been playing Greece and I've been playing Arise, and finally, I've also been playing Metro Exodus. That's right, we've got a Russian-themed podcast this week.
Thematic.
Yeah, so Metro Exodus is a game set in post-nuclear war Russia. Metro 2033 and Metro 2044 are books by... I can never remember his name. By Dmitry Glukovsky. That's the one. Dmitry Glukovsky. Which are quite world-renowned books, bestsellers sort of thing. And they're basically nuclear war in Russia, and all the survivors live within the metro system there. So between Moscow and stuff, and they all live down there in their, so civilization's down there, apart from a few people which venture out with their gas masks and radiation suits and whatnot to go and get supplies. And of course, there's mutants and stuff like that. But it's, so that's Metro 2033 and Metro 2044. Metro Exodus, basically what happens is you get a train and you find out that there are people actually alive outside of the metro, which is great. Spoiler for the first 20 minutes of the game, sorry. I mean, it's not a massive spoiler, but the trailers show you on a train, so yeah. So, because prior to that, the impression was that the only survivors were on the metro, like the whole world was destroyed essentially, but you find out that the basically the people that the Russian military have basically put blockers up, blocking transmissions from outside to stop to sort of isolate everyone. And then you basically destroy the blocker, and you find out that people are looking for survivors and stuff, and you steal this train and you go on an adventure. It's split into 4 seasons, so you go between 4 big open world maps set in winter, spring, summer and autumn. And I've only done winter so far, but I am a big fan. I love it. I think it's brilliant. It's kind of feels like a really good version of Fallout in a way, which is a bit of a weird comparison. But the shooting is really nice in it. The story elements are great. You can make decisions, but decisions based on your actions. Like if you kill someone instead of knock them out or something, that can have a big impact of other things that happen. There's loads of side missions. Every single place you go to is really interesting. So like, remember we were saying about Outer Worlds how every building had a mission, but they're all kind of samey. They all felt the same and whatnot. This one, you go to different camps, and like I've been to all within this winter big open world map. It's not big, it's not massive by any means, but it's like a few miles squared sort of thing. And I went to this little fishing place, which was run by a religion who thinks that electricity is the cause of mass destruction, so they don't use any electricity, which causes them to be all sick and stuff like that. And then you help some people from there escape them because they're like trapped within this religious society sort of thing. And like a cult, yeah. And then I kill loads of the cultists, and that has an impact later on when I go on a different mission. I go to a different place, and what happens in that one? I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's loads of stuff happens in loads of different places. People, have like human camps, if that makes sense. Either they still imprison humans, and you from the cultist place, and then you go to this place and you go and rescue them essentially, but you don't have to rescue them because I've just killed all the other cultists, so why would I rescue them sort of thing. So I rescued one lot, and they gave me a key to a place to get something different, like a new item, and I got some night vision goggles, which was really useful for this. And then the other lot I killed, but that had a big impact again later on, which I'll mention. And there's just so much depth to it in these little worlds. And I do want to talk about what it looks like, because oh my god, is it one of the most stunning games I've ever seen. Like the graphic, like just the fidelity of it is insane. The water reflections, just everything like that. Oh, Charlotte scared the bejeebies out of me. Hello. Say hello, Charlotte.
Hey.
There you go. Hi, Charlotte.
Hi, Charlotte.
Metro. Cool. Get out of it. Shoot. Be gone. Love you. And yeah, so it looks amazing. It does have some major flaws, which is half the game you're facing humans, half of it you're facing mutants, or give or take, depending on what situation you're in. And the mutant, the animations and the hitboxes, and they just feel like they don't belong in the game. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They feel like they've been copied out of another game and pasted in it, but it doesn't have like the right amount of pixels for the game. They look a bit rubbish. The hitboxes are rubbish, like I said. The noises they make are really odd. Like they're not loud enough. They're really quiet, and they don't have any meat to them. No punch. They're just really, I don't really like them, to be honest. Which is a real shame, because the environments where the mutants are in are insanely good. But then when you're just fighting all these really boring looking zombie things, you're just a bit like, ugh. But yeah, it is very, very good, and I would highly recommend it, actually. And it's a nice change of pace playing a first person shooter story, but not too RPG-esque, if that makes sense. It's more just based on exploration, I guess. So it's I'm going to continue.
When it first came out on Game Pass, I played up to the point where you take over the train, and you said to me that that's when the world opens up and gets more interesting.
Yeah.
But even up until that point, bearing in mind I've played one of maybe even both of the other Metro games that came before it, I always thought the combat against humans was far more interesting than the combat against the mutants.
Yeah, it's been the same throughout all of them, and it's a real shame. I thought, honestly, if they just hired some people that worked on games like, even games like Left 4 Dead or something, where the enemies just feel really meaty and really or like Doom or something, just they have like a proper substance to them, but they just feel like these little polystyrene bloody things. I don't know. It's a real shame, because it was like almost perfect if it wasn't for that. I'm really enjoying it so far. But
the thing that I found the most impressive about all of those games was the level of immersion, especially when you're walking through populated areas.
My God, yeah.
Just seeing people go about their days and looking through like little cracks in doors and windows and just watching stuff happen around you. It just feels so alive.
Yeah.
It's so immersive.
Yeah, the world feels like it's properly handcrafted, right? And it feels... Yeah. But the attention to detail is so insane, to the point of like, how you got games of crafting menus where you'd press start and then go into a crafting menu and it brings up a menu on your screen, sort of thing. No, none of that rubbish in this game. In this game, right, you use your little... There's so many buttons in this game. Oh my God, it's insane. Like, you have to hold like R1 or something and then hold A or something like that to open it up. And you take your backpack off, open it up, and you can see all your crafting materials inside, and just so many little things like that. When you need to change your filter on your gas mask, you see them unscrew it, screw a new one on. You can wipe your gas mask when you get water splashed on it. You get your gun jams when it gets dirty, and you can clean it when you get chemicals and stuff, but it makes up the jamming sound, and you have to like cock it and stuff. It's just so many things. It's so interesting and so cool. It's such a nice change of pace playing an interesting shooting game, as opposed to just your standard, oh look, I've got an M16. It's just like and you basically build guns from the ground up. You can knock down a gun to the frame of it and use it just as a frame, like a proper lightweight gun, or you can put loads of like heavy grips on it and different barrels and whatnot, and it's really, really interesting, because all the enemies have done the same thing, so they've all built their guns. So when you pick them up, you can see that they've got like all these weird combinations, like a pistol with like a crazy long barrel and stuff like that. It's mad. It's really good. Really enjoying it. I haven't played any more since Monday, to be honest, but I've been Christmas shopping all week. But I'm definitely gonna. I think I'm gonna put it on pause now. Christmas shopping this week, yeah.
Oh.
What do you think I said?
Crisp.
Oh yeah, I've been crisp shopping all week. I just can't find those Watsits.
Yeah, can't find the right fork for the Watsits.
Every one I try, they just break in half every time I stick a fork into it. But I'm gonna play it in the new year. I'm gonna stop for now because I want to try and play some Hades, Apex, and Untitled Goose Game. So yeah, that's all I've played. I think. I don't think I've played anything else. And Luigi's Mansion, but I have nothing else to add. It's just very, very good. A bit long. That's my main quarrel with it, is that it just drags on a bit after a while.
Apparently the ending's really
good. I've heard it is, yeah. So
worth it.
Yeah.
Keep at it, buddy boy.
And I'm going to be buying, hopefully, a fair few games because the Switch and Steam sales are on at the minute, and there are lots and lots of games I want to get. Because I said to Dan, I really want to play Night in the Woods, and now it's £10 on Switch instead of 17, so I haven't really got an excuse anymore.
Do it.
Yeah.
You got any money?
No, I've got no excuse. No excuse at all. Right. Yeah, that's it. So, we done?
Yeet.
I think
We're
so.
done. This has been your weekly dose of the Praise the Pickle podcast. So, just to recap, our Game of the Year contenders as it stands, so at least 9 of these will be on next week, and we all have an option to change one of our games out depending on what we play this week or if we change our mind. So, Death Stranding, Katana Zero, Void Bastards, Luigi's Mansion 3, Grease, Arise, Hades, Disco Elysium, Resident Evil 2, Apex Legends, Untitled Goosey Game, and Borderlands 3. So at least 11 of those are worthy of Game of the Year.
Yeah, Void Bastards wasn't that good, actually, was it?
Just a better version of Borderlands. Right, that's it. We're done. Thank you for listening, everyone. Kevin.
Yes.
If
Not this again.
people wanna sort of share their thoughts on what their game of the year was, or maybe just share their opinions on why some of our games maybe shouldn't make the cut, or why they also agree with our game of the year choice, or just any game of the year related nonsense, to be honest, or if they just want to wish us a merry bloody Christmas and a merry bloody New Year.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone.
No, we'll get to that.
Oh, jeez.
Kev, how do they do it?
Well, my young Padawan Pickles, you can go to Facebook,
Star Wars fanboy,
which is Praise the Pickle. You go to Instagram, which is Praise the Pickle Podcast. You go to Twitter, which is Praise the Pickle. Or you can email us at praisethepicklepodcast@gmail.com.
Brilliant, thank you. Merry
Wunderbar.
Christmas, everyone, because your next
Merry
weekly
Christmas.
dosage of the juicy brine-covered pickle will be after Christmas. So have a bloody good one and eat lots of food and be very merry. And this is Pickle Squad signing out. Toodaloo.
Yeet.
There was no your host this week. Pickle.
There was at the start pickle.
I don't remember you saying it. Pickle.
I did say it. Pickle.
Then I apologise. Pickle.
Alright, peace out.
Merry Christmas. Goodbye. Peace and love.